Shalom and thank you for joining us. We are on location at the Moshiach Center in Lauderhill, Florida. In the convenience and endless distractions of our modern world, it is so easy for young and old to lose their sense of direction and to some degree even forget their heritage. The need to promote Jewish education today is greater than ever, and a truly uplifting success story in this endeavor is the Moshiach Center in Lauderhill, Florida. Rabbi Mordechai Anati is one of the most dedicated and outstanding Jewish community leaders I've had the privilege of interviewing, and he'll share his thoughts on Jewish education following these messages. With us now is Rabbi Mordechai Anati. Rabbi, it's a real pleasure and a privilege to have you on the Shalom Show.
Richard. I'm really happy to be in your show.
It's been a while. Sir, I'd like to ask you how you see the challenges facing Jewish life at this time in history.
This time in history is a very important, you can say crucial, but on the other hand, it's a very positive time for the Jewish people. We are now living in a special era. It's called the era of Mashiach, the era of redemption. We're actually coming to an end of a long journey that the Jewish people now is arriving. Started in the very beginning, actually in creation, continue with the path of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Later on was Moshe Rabbeinu and the Jewish people throughout the history, entering the land of Israel. And now finally, after being in exile for that many years, and we were 2,000 outside of the state of Israel, we are back in the land of Israel. And thank God we are proceeding into achieving, slowly but surely, the final of our journey. That means that all Jewish people around the world actually going to gather one day in the land of Israel and live there happily ever after under the ruling of Mashiach, the ruling of the time where Jewish people are going to realize and be aware of the Jewish living. They'll be living in the most proper way, just like we lived for thousands of years, but this time without any aggravation or any from other nations, because other nations are also going to appreciate. It's actually equivalent. We had a sample of it in the time of King Solomon for 40 years, that when the first temple was built, all nations came to ask for the wisdom of the Jewish people, ask for their blessing of the Jewish people. Actually, he used to come to the temple as well. And this is where we're going, this is where we're facing. I think all nations are going to be benefit from that, along, of course, from us. And then we see a reward to all our, I would say, suffering or going through such a difficult exiles for many years, from the time of the Egyptians who we've been enslaved by, and then later on the Babylonian and the Greeks and the Romans, and till our time. And now, thank God that we are we can be proud living as Jewish people, especially in the land of Israel, especially in America. United States was given the freedom of religion and be able to live your life as a Jew.
Rabbi, what is the importance of Jewish education today as compared to past years?
It's really the number one issue. And I may say that I'm an emissary of the Lubavitch Rebbe, the leader of the Jewish people in our generation. And when I say Jewish, I mean 100% Judaism. Mean that we bringing the awareness to every Jew in the world, starting from a little kid, as soon as he's born, until the older kids. We also consider them as also babies in that sense. We consider them children because they weren't exposed to Judaism throughout their life. So that's the reason why we are here. We open up a center over here, Rabbinical College of Florida, and thank God we have the 12th cycle already this year. And they're going out there to the community to educate families, children, men, women, and teaching them about their obligations and benefits and how much the merit of being Jewish, because this is really what helps us to achieve the goal is by teaching them. So that's why we're starting here. Actually, we started, as you saw, a very little school, kindergarten, preschool, and from there we're going on, God willing, to open up a big center to be able to reach that every Jewish will have the right to get a true Jewish education. We call it Al Taharat HaKodesh, in a holy way, in a way we understand his being in this world and the purpose of his life. And when he grows up to be like this, he's not going to have no conflicts. He's going to know exactly, and he's going to influence his surrounding. And I think the nation's also expecting us to be what we are supposed to, a light unto the nation. And in order to be a light unto the nation, we have to teach you the Torah, what the Torah called Torah Or, is a light. And this is how we light up the world. And they're going to see the good side of us. And that's what we're trying to achieve, and they're going to understand why we are the one that need to be living in the land of Israel, why we the one have to be and to be prosperous in this field, because they're going to need our wisdom, our light, to affect them for goodness and kindness, and this is what we are here. That's what it's all about. Until now was a big confusion. Since Babylonian actually started the biggest confusion. It's called the Tower of Babel. Babel mean in Hebrew just like to bubble. It's mixing and confusing the world. But ever since till now, we are just trying to correct this misunderstanding around the world is by education. The best thing to communicate with someone is by educating him. When you're going to educate the Jewish people, and then we educate the world. We're also teaching the world about the 7 Noah's law. All nations, we have them in different, maybe later on we can show you the different cards that we have for what's called the 7 Noah's law, the 7 universal law, was is a common denominator to all nations. And we're teaching them that. We have it in Arabic, we have it in Spanish, in English, in all languages, basically. That's where we have. So we're teaching the nations, and also us, we're teaching, the foundation or the basics of the laws of Judaism.
Rabbi, speaking of education, we are sitting here in your center, and there are students all around us. So I hope the audience realizes that what they hear in the background is actually many students studying Torah. Tell us a little bit more about your plans for the future. I understand you have a real big center that's going to be constructed in this area.
We are, last few years, we're actually trying to establish or build a special monumental building, which is called the 770 building. As we know, the headquarters of Lubavitch, headquarters of Chabad, is located in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. And there they have a big house that this is the place where the Lubavitch Rebbe dwells and live, and this is where the spreading of all the emissaries in the world comes from there, and we are part of it in Florida, and we are going to build and erect a building which is going to be a replica of the building in 770. Sometimes, you say just like they have the Capitol Hill, and then they have in every state, they have like some kind of a replica and a smaller version. We can say in the same way, or that's how we're going to have a building like this, where people are going to realize what is. The 770, the Rebbe mentioned, has two meanings to that. One is to break through. Paratzta has the same value, numerical value of the letters, and also Bet Mashiach, a house of Mashiach, a house we can house, bring the message of godliness, bring the message of goodness and kindness, bring the message of the Torah to the world. What is the right thing to do? When there is a confusion, you always have to go back to the source. And this is where the source was going to come, and in order to bring, so that's why we're going to be building, God willing, a 12,000 square feet building, two-story building, and going to have rooms to educate the kids, second floor, first floor and second floor, and also it's going to be, just like you see, a Bet Medrash, a place of study for the students. It's going to continue and thrive and to even increase their outreach. And that's what we do. As you see, we have an outreach all over South Florida. We also sometimes go to northern Florida. And we have that outreach. As you saw, we also have that called the mitzvah tank. We're outside there that goes occasionally, of course, a few times a week to different centers. And on that mitzvah tank, everybody can see that we have all the commandments. We have the good deeds that we also spread out for all nations, and the 7 Noah's law was written there, so everybody can see that we are for the whole world. We're trying to find a solution that is going to be good for everybody. This is what the Torah is all about. Torah came to make peace in the world.
Rabbi, on that thought, I'd like us just to take a break. We have to pause for these commercial messages. We'll be right back.